say that Wike is not a pushover and he is a party man, and perhaps he might not be wooed to the APC, despite the fact that we have speculation that he's hot at the moment because he didn't make it force to be the flag bearer of the PDP. Also didn't also make it to become the vice presidential candidate as well of the PDP. Now you recall that since Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa was announced to be the flag bearer, the running mate rather to Atiku Abubakar, our governor has been very quiet, and lots of persons have been saying this is not the style of Governor Wike. He is not a quiet person. He's a talker. He is someone who has something in mind. He says it at all point in time. But this time, he decided to take it, in a different light. He decided to be silent. He decided to be quiet. And this is what I love to say, called a loud silence. The silence of Governor Wike has been very loud. And lots of persons have been coming out to meet Governor Wike and talking to him not to abandon the party. Recall that Atiku Abubakar had to also set up a reconciliatory committee to go meet Governor Wike and then plead with him. But to no avail, the governor has said nothing yet. And next on our list this evening, pray for us, all our efforts have failed. This is coming from Governor Matawali of Zamfara State. Now you recall after the Owo massacre, Governor Matawali came out to say that citizens should learn to defend themselves, and he also made a bill that citizens could have arms for themselves and use that as a self-defense. And just very recently at the Eid prayers, the Eid celebration that happened yesterday, the governor has come out to ask all Muslim faithfuls and all nationals to pray for the state, stating that they have tried all things and it seems that they are failing, and then they are urging that right now they need divine intervention. Rather, he's saying we all need divine intervention in the country, Nigeria, to be able to fight the insurgencies that we're facing in this country. These are some of the things that we are going to be talking about tonight. Like you know, rather, I'm not usually alone on the show. I have a guest, and but I'm going to have to introduce our guest when we come back from this short break. Don't go nowhere.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-the-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. And if you're just joining us, this is ATN's Recap. On the recap, we remind you of some of the happenings of the week. And joining me on the show this afternoon is a broadcast journalist, Oke Onwugbono. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good to be here again today.
It is a pleasure to have you. We had a wonderful conversation last week, Sunday. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I'm sure you went to church today, and you last week you said you didn't go to church last week. Did you go? You had to work.
Yeah.
Journalism is also doing God's work, Good to have you on the show this afternoon, okay?
Same here.
So let's move on to the conversation this afternoon. First on our list, ISWAP claims responsibility for Kuje prison attack. Now, scores of gunmen believed to be terrorists on Tuesday night bombed the Kuje Medium Security Custodial Center, Abuja, which was being guarded by dozens of soldiers, Department of State operatives, police officers, and Nigerian security and civil defense corps personnel. During the attack that began around 2 10 p.m., the terrorists released 600 inmates, including 15 deadly Boko Haram commanders who masterminded the March 28th attack on the Kaduna-Abuja train at Katari, Kaduna, in which 8 persons were killed and over 68 passengers kidnapped. The Islamic State West African province claimed responsibility for the attack in a 30-second video which showed the gunmen setting ablaze vehicles parked in the facility. The spokesman and Nigerian Correctional Service, Umar Abubakar, confirmed that an NSCDC officer, Inspector Iyasu Abraham, 3 terrorists and 4 inmates died in the incident. The Kuje attack came barely hours after a convoy of cars carrying the advanced team of security guards, protocol and media officers ahead of the president's trip to Dara for Salah came under a terrorist attack. Now, let's have this conversation. ISWAP has come out to claim the responsibility that they were the masterminds, they were responsible for the attack that happened in Kuje prison. Now, let's relate it back, first of all, to what happened in Owo. After the massacre in Owo, the federal government had a meeting, an emergency meeting with the service chiefs as well, and they came out after their investigation to say that ISWAP was responsible for the attack and that they were going to do everything within their power to ensure that ISWAP was brought to book. But nothing was done. And now recently, just last week, ISWAP also attacked the Kuje prison in Abuja, and they've come out to say that they are responsible for the attack. Question is, what exactly do you think the government is going to do to ensure that these guys are being brought to book?
You know, the issue in Owo, on those days, the state governor did come out to say it was a bit hasty for the federal government to pin that attack on ISWAP. You know, ISWAP has their pattern. If they do something, they own up to it. We did it. Just like you see this one, they have come out to say, we did it. Beating their chest and telling you that, go to hell. We did what we had to do because of what we wanted, and we got what we wanted. So if the federal government is coming up to say ISWAP has done this and therefore would do this, have you read the statement from this presidential spokesman? Have you read the statement from the Mr. President himself? Have you heard the statement from all the people involved in this matter that should talk? Have you heard their statements? For crying out loud, their statements are reactionary, their statements are passive, very passive, if you ask me, because something is happening. You're coming out to say, we'll do our best to see that we bring the perpetrators to book. What kind of English is that? You're not telling us, you know, we do journalism. We're told that when it is active, it means that you are in the process.
Right.
You say, we've identified the people involved, we've done this, we've done that, and we're moving ahead, and we're ensuring that all our borders are blocked, all everywhere, all the places these people could be found. We're doing this, we're doing that. That is not what we're hearing. We're hearing like, oh, we'll see what we can do. And it's like you're waiting for something to happen, so you just react to it, and it ends there. Let's cast our mind back to that attack and paint a vivid picture of what happened. This happened in the capital city, Abuja. Abuja is where we have the seat of power. Kuje is at the outskirts of Abuja. Some kilometers or meters or kilometers, not very close anyway, away from the international airport is where Kuje prison is. It's not a maximum prison, it's what was it called again?
Correctional center.
It's a medium correctional center, not a maximum correctional center. First, let me finish this analysis. I'll go back to this. It's close to the airport, like minutes away from the airport. Same minutes away from, not an hour, minutes away from Aso Rock. That's where Kuje is located. Around Kuje, if you watch some movies, all these movies that talk about Prison Break, they try to tell you how fortified the prison is. They show you the parameters around that prison and how guarded and how safe it is. You see checkpoints around the entire prison, so that even if you escape, you'll be caught. Get it? Kuje is similar. 15 minutes of Kuje, 15 minutes away from Kuje prison, you have checkpoints all around. 15 minutes. 25 minutes away from Kuje, there is a cantonment. Another 45 minutes away from Kuje, there is another cantonment, military cantonment. You understand what the cantonment is? So when you have all these, it means that the airport is also heavily guarded. Aso Rock, of course, is heavily guarded. The cantonments are heavily guarded. The checkpoints heavily with armed men. All these units, all of them, none responded to an onslaught happening in Kuje for over 2 hours. Wow. Over 2 hours. None. If a bomb goes off in Ahoda and we're here, a bomb, we will know.
True.
You get the point? Especially if you're specially trained, you would know, because the ground will quake. We feel something. You hear it from the distance, except you're in an enclosed place, probably as we are now. You hear it. So I was saying that all these military cantonments and military personnel around Kuje didn't hear about that attack for over 2 hours. It was going down. Okay, let's cut them some slack. They didn't hear about it. But you and I know that immediately that attack started, some people were dropping information on Twitter. Yeah. So we were fooling the train on what was happening there and then in real time. I don't know who was doing that, but some people were doing it. The Kuje place is being attacked right now. As we speak, they have bombed the gate. This is happening. Yeah. And the military people, all the intelligence people, the president said he was disappointed in our intelligence gathering. Yeah. Until now, nobody has been indicted. No. Nobody has been arrested. The most annoying part in all this is the fact that it was discovered that 24 hours before that attack, there was a redeployment of military personnel guarding Kuje prison. Yeah. The question is, if they say redeployed, it's as though some persons left, other people took over. But the question is, did a new set of people take over? Because if they did, there should have been some force, a repelling. Exactly. There should have been some face-off between these people and the military. Yeah. And make no mistake about it, nobody should tell you this anywhere and you believe it. Nigerians military is one of the best, in fact, the best ground soldiers we have in Africa, and the military we have. So you can't tell me that our military will come against these ones face-to-face, and you won't see or hear that these terrorists are killed in their numbers. We're hearing 3 of them killed. That just came up recently, as I said, maybe like yesterday. Yeah. That's why that came up. But the real fact was that 2 days after, we didn't hear of any casualty on the side of the terror. Only heard that some prisoners were injured, others, about 3 of them were killed. One NSCDC personnel was also killed and all that. We didn't hear anything about the prisoners. Now, picture this thing. When these same people, because it was said by the aide, the one that is interfacing with the terrorists of Ahmad Gumi, that these people are the same ones that invaded that train and kidnapped a lot of people. They just released 7 today, maybe as celebration for their success. So just okay, so no, if you go, bring some money and go. So these same people are the same people. Remember, they asked Nigerian people, tell your government to give us what we want for us to release these people. I went asked what did they want. After I think the second interview or third, they said they have some of our children that they are holding in remand home. They should release them for us. They have some of our people in their facilities. They should release them to us. And at the end of this, we heard that 64 Boko Haram terrorists have been released. Some of them are masterminds of various bombings in Nigeria dated years back. Masterminds, all 64 of them released without anybody raising a weapon against this. Did you see that video? Yeah, I did. The video looked at someone shooting a movie. Yeah. The prisoners, the ones that were released, were strolling. They were practically strolling. So if you are coming to take action and you say, what would the federal government, what have they done in the past? What have they done? What significant progress can you say they have done in the past? The only thing they have done is to catch some members and put them in Kuje prison. And why even put them in a medium facility? Why not a maximum prison? Kirikiri is a maximum prison. Why not put them there? Why put them in Kuje? Why? These are hardened criminals. Why? There's something missing. There's something missing. Somebody is sabotaging the efforts of the people that are genuinely wanting to fight this fight. Somebody is within these people, giving these people information. So how can we now explain the fact that all the military cantonments around did not lift a finger to come to the rescue? How can we explain that people were redeployed 24 hours to the time and we didn't see a face-off between the military and the Kuje prison? How can we explain that they asked for their members to be released and A month later, they're releasing the members themselves without a fight. How can we explain this?
Without a single fight. And that's one of the things that pains our heart the most. Because just like you established, Nigerian soldiers are the best foot soldiers we have in Africa. Of course, there have been times where we have Nigerian soldiers going out there to for peacekeeping.
Various peacekeeping
in
various
countries. And then when they go there and then they see Nigerian soldiers, everyone wants to behave themselves, maintain, and they obey because of the force that we have. And that this is happening in our own home, in our doorposts, in the giant of Africa, where we have the best foot soldiers happening. Come on, it's beyond compromise, don't you think so? It's beyond compromise.
We have come to the point whereby we're thinking, what's the way out of this? And I'm ashamed to say that it is disgraceful for us to still have to come and talk about this when we have someone that is in power as the president, the chief security officer of the country, and he tells you things like not to worry, everything is being taken care of, not to worry, we have we understand what is happening and we're doing our best to ensure that these perpetrators are brought to book, everybody go about their normal duties, and all of that. The same storyline every day. They attacked the NDA, the Nigerian Defense Academy. Nothing has happened after that. Military men that were supposed to be on their duty, that were not on their duty for negligence, they have not heard anything. Nothing has been done. They've attacked an airport, an international airport. Nothing has been done. They've attacked a train. Nothing has been done. They're attacking a prison, one of the most fortified prisons we have in Nigeria, or correctional center, if you may. Nothing has happened. The assembly people were saying, was also have CCTV, Ahmed Lawan. They say, yeah, it's a shame, no CCTV on that facility. And you ask, how possible
is that?
And someone did say, he should be asking if the CCTV is in his assembly functional.
Wow.
You should be asking too, because not when it happens, and I say, no CCTV. You should be asking, because these people are becoming more daring as the day goes by. Nothing has happened that we can see. Instead, these people are getting more daring, and I feel pity for our dear country, Nigeria. Someone is saying, hey, the service chief is supposed to have been fired, the defense staff and all that. Heads are not ruling. Instead, we have the Minister of Interior, Arebo Shola, talking about, oh, we'll get to the root. Get to what root? You're supposed to be at the helm of affairs, and it's happening under your watch. You should be fired. You should be fired.
Or even resign honorably.
Or you resign. No, you don't resign in Nigeria anyway. So you see as it happens, and you're wondering, which way our dear country, which way Nigeria? Someone would say, hey, citizens, carry arms. It's time to defend yourself. That is happening where we have gotten to, because as it stands now, unfortunately, the government have failed to defend its citizenry. We can't be defended by this government. So if we can't be defended, what do we do?
A lot of persons might want to say, we have a president who is an ex-military officer. And for that reason, the president should understand, how to deal with insurgencies like this. And I think that's one of the very reasons why we had lots of Nigerians believe in him, because he was a man who projected to us to be a man of integrity, a man of discipline. And but over the years, we've not really had that display because the insurgency are growing in the nation. And just like you mentioned, we had Boko Haram, quote, Boko Haram people who were also part of the masterminds of the Abuja Kaduna train attack in that facility. And these guys were released and walked away. You know what happened very recently yesterday? It was mentioned that one of them has been recaptured.
In Nasarawa State.
In Nasarawa State. One has been recaptured.
Just to make us happy that they are doing something.
And then the president has also come out to say that it is the responsibility of everyone right now to report, some of those suspected moves. Saying that I think the facility also released some pictures biodata of these individuals, and I'm saying this biodata in a country like Nigeria, where our tech system is really not fully functional. How do we even recognize these guys with the biodata? Can an everyday Nigerian now see these guys and want to say something?
Sadly, we know where these people are. His name eludes me, but the aide to Ahmed, what's his name again? Gumi.
Gumi, yeah,
Chef
thank
Gumi.
you. Yeah.
He knows, he has been interfacing with these people. He was even bold to say it was his negotiations that got these 7 people that were released yesterday released. So, and if he's saying these are the same people that attacked the train, and the same people that have attacked
the correctional facility.
The correctional facility, and they release their members. The members are going back to them.
Yeah.
Which means we know where these people are.
Exactly.
So, If you know where these people are,
what is holding you back?
What is preventing you from attacking them?
And I'm still wondering why the negotiations, why we already know where they are. You know, there was a time, sometime last week as well, where the terrorists actually threatened that in the next 24 hours, they'll start killing the victims in their hands. But thank God, the victims are not being killed. Rather, 7 has been released, and of course, we're expecting that the orders will be released. But again, just like you mentioned, where they are is no longer a secret to the federal government. It's not a secret to the our military personnel. Question still is, what exactly is holding them back? Should we be negotiating with criminals as a nation now?
What is holding them back? Of course, they will tell you that they're going to be using those people abducted, those kidnapped people as human shield. So we're trying to be careful so we don't
kill citizens.
Kill innocent citizens. That's what they will tell you.
Okay.
Good reason. But what attempt have you made?
Yeah.
What serious attempt have you made? It is obvious. It is obvious that there are some people, there are some snitches within the corridors of power. It might not be at the presidency, it might be at lower cadre, but it is obvious. If not, tell me, the United Arab Emirates released names of terrorists.
Yeah.
I think the US also released names of terrorists.
Yeah.
Nigerian government has those names. Why have you not shamed this one? Why have you not brought? They say no, we are trying to investigate and we'll probe them. Naming and shaming them wouldn't solve the problem. Okay, give us information. What's happening? Have you said an interrogation? Are they guilty or not?
Nothing has been said.
Unfortunately, and if you look at that list, we may not have anybody's name apart from Pantami, whom there's no proof to state that actually he has actually been supporting terrorism. No hardcore proof yet anyway, only for the fact that in the past he was a bit radical. But no hard proof anyway. The other names in it, if it was in the public space, would have been able to understand the relationship between these names and the people in power.
That's right.
And that would have given us a better insight as to if truly we are being compromised, efforts of maybe genuine security personnel are being compromised. Remember, recently, the chief of defense staff, was it or the national, what was it?
NSLC?
No, the man in charge of defense, what's his name? Mongono.
Mongono, thank you.
Mongono said $1 billion, $1 billion that was supposed to be spent to acquire arms went unaccounted for by the former service chiefs. The ICP has come out to say hey, they have found some money yet. There's been some reports, not from ICPC, from some investigative journalism. And the man there, the chief of, the one that is now the ambassador to Benin Republic, Buratai, he said, hey, I will sue you guys. That thing came out since sometime, I think, June. It came out and we're looking for information as to if those things are not true. Why have you not brought that man to say, okay, answer for yourself, to show that our hands are clean?
Exactly.
Let's see that these things are not true, because we have money that was allocated for weapons, for arms, and we don't see anything, and yet people are still holding their offices. People that are supposed to be indicted are still coming to say, we'll get to the root of it. What root?
Talking about that arm, excuse me, talking about that arm, we also have some security personnel saying that they were overpowered by the terrorists because they had
short of weapons.
Of course, they were short of weapons, and the terrorists had more sophisticated weapons to them. And again, looking at that, that is a slap to our face as Nigerians. And you just related it right now to Burotai's case, where he had about 1.80 billion naira that was allocated, for arms, and they was found in his possession. No arms was gotten. At a point, he even denied that the house in Wuse in Abuja is not his house. So one begin to look at the whole situation and say, what exactly is happening here? Where certain things that action should be taken for is not taken for. These are the aftermaths of some of these things.
That man should never have been made an ambassador because he had a lot of things that people said he should answer for. He should have answered for those crimes. Remember, he was in power for 6 years. The president would drag about changing them. He didn't do the needful until Nigerians cried and cried and cried before you. The next thing, you're making him an ambassador. But he's supposed to be answering for the numerous things people said, crimes he committed. He's supposed to be face the law. Let's hear it. Let's know if you're clean and clear. You just come out and you're enjoying your life and you just passively, that's not my house, they have to retract that statement.
and is threatening to sue the federal government. Well, these are things that bothers our heart as Nigerians. Talking about ISWAP claiming the responsibility for the Kujah attack, we can actually exhaust this conversation, and the more we talk about it, the more pain, deeply pain that we are as individuals. But again, we're going to move on to the next topic this afternoon, and towards 2023 elections, anxiety in PDP over Wike APC governors meeting. The decision of Rivers State Governor Yeso Wike to host some All Progressive Congress APC governors believed to be close associates of the party's presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu has sparked fresh anxiety in the People's Democratic Party PDP. The national newspaper gathered that while leaders of the PDP are haggling over how best to handle Wike and his supporters, especially among governors elected on this platform, the move by APC governors took only a few of them by surprise. A member of the PDP National Executive Committee who pleaded anonymity so as not to jeopardize fence-mending efforts said the party is bigger than every member. He said PDP has been around since 1998, and we have seen all kinds of members come and go. According to him, he said, with due respect to everyone, membership of this party is by choice. We would like to have people on board, but we would be better off with those who believe in the cause of the party. I don't think any sacrifice is too much for individual members to make for us to return to power in 2023. Yes, this is him still speaking. Yes, without doubt, Rivers State is one of our biggest strongholds, and we have accorded and we continue to accord the state and its people the respect that they deserve. Let's talk about the politics of PDP in Rivers State. Now, you recall that Wike's ambition has been very pronounced as regards wanting to go for presidency, vie for presidency. And before the good fight, lots of persons will say that, and he lost to former vice president of the nation, Atiku Abubakar. And then a lot of persons also thought that due to the speculations that came out and a name released at the time by the National Working Committee of PDP that Governor Wike was going to be the running mate of Atiku Abubakar. But later on, that release was also debunked, that Wike will no longer be the running mate. And then Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State emerged as the running mate of Atiku Abubakar. Prior to that time, or rather, since then, the governor of Rivers State has been very quiet. He's been very silent about political issues here as regards PDP. Now, we know the governor to be a very loud person. He talks at all time. His moves are usually very visible. And right now, the man's silence has become so loud. Where we've had lots of political bigwigs have come to Rivers State in his own house. Now, not just the government house, they've gone to his personal residence, and they're having conversations with him. Lots of persons have been thinking that Wike is going to be wooed out of PDP. Do you think there's a possibility for that?
Wike would not want to eat his words. Wike is a proud Rivers man. Rivers people are proud people. And when I mean proud, I don't mean proud like egoistic or so, although some are. But when I mean proud, someone that wants to be taken for his words.
Yeah.
So if I say something, I do something. Time and again, it's been on record that he said APC is cancer. What PDP suffers is malaria. You can leave malaria and go get cancer. So he has that in the open. So if he comes out to declare support openly for APC, it will mean that whatever thing he has said against Dave Umahi, whatever thing he has said against former Akwa Ibom State Governor Godswill Akpabio, whatever thing he has said against where is that man's name again from Calabar, the Professor Benayade, whatever thing he has said against every stalwart of the PDP that left to the APC, he's saying the same thing to himself. So he'll be very careful about his next move. He looks like a beautiful bride right now. His house and the government house in Rivers State has turned to a sort of Mecca. Instead of going to Saudi Arabia, people are coming to pay homage to Rivers State. Now, the question is, what are they looking for? They're looking for alliance. They want an alliance. Look at the people that came. They are not, these people that came are not rumored to be allies of Tinubu. They are his foot soldiers. Somolu. Kayode Fayemi. Rotimi Akeredolu. These are his men, core. So it's not even as if APC sent these people. Tinubu himself sent these people. And see the person that was among the welcome party, Fayoshe. Fayoshe just openly said he's not supporting Atiku, that it should come south. So by his body language is telling you that I'm going to push the Tinubu. He has not openly said that, but that is what it is. He had come to Wike, he was with Wike when they welcomed these 3 governors. If you look at that video. And Fahimi was like, oh boy, why you bring cameras now? It was obvious Wike wanted us to capture the moment to tell you how important
it was for him.
It is. And you can see how these people fraternized, shook hands, spoke pidgin English. It shows everybody that is taking weapons, bringing out weapons, hitting someone up person because of this political game, makes you understand that these people, by and large, will be allies and friends when they can align. So you, be careful. So let's talk about what these guys came to do in Rivers State. Wike is a colossus.
Okay.
Wike is a man. Wike is a strong man. Wike is a mover. Wike has followers.
In the political space?
Exactly. So everybody is seeing that, hey, this man is up there. He has not said anything. No. So he's available. So let's go and poach him. Remember, the game is permanent interest, not friend or foe. Wike may have had issues with these other people one-on-one, but now he's available. They have not treated him well in PDP. That's a good time to win him over to our side. And if we win him over to our side, it's very likely that he will give us, after all, he kept PDP together. If we remove him from PDP and it comes to us, it means that we have one hand above PDP, and it's very likely that we'll win.
There might be an argument to that statement when he said Wike kept PDP together. Lots of persons might want to disagree with you on that, though.
Everybody has their own opinion. If you say Wike kept PDP together, the facts are there available for you to see. When the people were shaking and moving, Wike was the one going from state to state, calling stalwarts together, aligning people back, and telling them, stay with us, bringing the likes of, what's his name, the governor of Ekiti State, where he declared to be president, and bringing him back to the party, and all that. Wike, whether you like it or not, Wike did a lot. He might not have done that single-handedly, but he was the man in front that was really moving. Others maybe prefer to do theirs behind the scene. Wike was out there in front of our faces, and we saw his work. So anybody that could argue for and against, no doubt about it with your facts, okay, we're good with that. But this is what I'm saying. So if you see a Wike that is available in this political game, who would go for him? But I have bad news for people. Those people thinking that a Wike alone will be able to galvanize support as it has been in the years past. That might not happen. Remember, Wike has 1 vote. Just 1 vote.
That's right.
Wike has only 1 vote. But Wike has influence. So he can influence a few people, garner their support, and ask them to vote. You know what to swing Wike to any side? He's lost the vice presidential slot, even though he never said he was contesting. He's lost the one he wanted to contest for presidency. He didn't pick a senatorial form. So as it's in the game, he can offer, like he offered in the past, in quote, he can offer over 1 million votes for any party that he supports. He can, based on his antecedents. So with that on the table, the question is, what are you giving to me? What shot am I calling? That's why all this. Maybe you hear talk, okay, don't worry, we'll give you this. If you win, we'll give us something. We'll give it. That's all the one. But like I was saying, Wike has 1 vote.
That's right.
People are realizing that it's not about following a godfather that will bring the change you desire. And if we're realizing that, it means that whoever you're following, you cast your vote for who you think can salvage the country, but the country is in a position whereby it needs to be salvaged, and the country needs a messiah. Is Atiku your messiah? Is Tinubu your messiah? Is Obi your messiah? Is Kwakwanso your messiah? Is it Showore? Whoever it is that you think your messiah is, you go and you cast your vote for that person. Not because one godfather is telling you, come and let's go. Because at the end of the day, the godfather will thrive, it will favor him. You think it will favor you. What will favor you will be crumbs on the table that will fall from the godfather's table that you can pick and eat. Breadcrumbs, that's what will favor you.
But again, just like you talked about the influence, if he could promise using your word, 1 million vote to any of the aspirants that have come to him. And according to what you've also said, based on its antecedent, that he could deliver that because he has an influence, on the people. Now, you also made mention that Wike would not want to go down to the APC because he wouldn't want to eat his own words. But also bringing to the fact that politics in Nigeria is a game of interest.
Of course.
And if possible, that he's got something far more better for him waiting in another party, despite the fact that he might have bad-mouthed some of the party, the APC basically in the country. Despite that fact, don't you also think that because of the interest that is coming ahead, he could look at the whole thing and say, well, just like Chidi Lloyd said sometime when he was asked when he moved, when he came back to the PDP, so what happened to you after all of the things you have said? Chidi Lloyd made mention, he was on record that then he was blind and now he could see. Now, don't you think that the governor Wike as well could also make a similar assertion to say, well, maybe then I was wrong about these people.
Wike still has a stronghold in the PDP. Wike has a governor that he has to install. Forgive me for the word install. He has a Sim Fubara that he wants to make governor of Rivers State.
Do you think Wike alone could make Sim Fubara the governor of Rivers State? We still have the APC candidate of country, Tony
Let me tell you why I use the word
install.
PDP is a party in governance. We have an APC with a Tony Cole, and people have said he has something hanging above him, and the APC is still not united.
Yeah.
If you have been following proceedings, which I'm sure you have been,
yeah,
there have been a mass
exodus,
or exodus of members of the APC.
Yeah.
Remember I told you last time that people will be choosing where will favor them.
True.
Some people will go into the PDP, others will follow Magnus Abbey.
Yeah.
Because they are looking for where they will benefit. It's a game of interest. So as you see it now, it's already playing out. People are moving to where. So Wike cannot leave his PDP in Rivers State, who seem to have gotten his act right. How does the PDP seem to have gotten its act right?
Good.
All the major key players in the PDP, the go-rounds, name them, all the big guys, what was his name, former state secretary of the state government, Tamidana Gogo, and the rest of them that were rumored to be vying for the governorship.
Yeah.
All of them have
aligned together.
Aligned. A certain Boma Yaye that also wanted to be governor has now been reappointed a commissioner. So you see that the PDP still has its act together in Rivers State. Okay. So Wike is the leader of the PDP in the Rivers State. He cannot start leaving the PDP now. What he can do for this other party, since I don't have a candidate at the center, Atiku is not my preferred candidate. I wanted to be president. Yeah. He didn't even see me good enough to make me his deputy. Let it be that I rejected the offer. Yeah. Since I said I didn't want it, he didn't offer it to me for me to reject. And now everybody wants me. Yeah. So who is offering me the most? I might not have to move to the APC or the LP to do what I have to do. I could just assure them that don't worry. Behind the scenes, I won't vouch for the PDP. I won't push for the PDP. I will stay behind the scene and ensure that you get what you need. Isn't that political betrayal? It's same thing. It's the same thing. Because if he loves his party, and if just when you established the fact about Wike, you made mention that Wike is a man who's got pride. You use the word proud, which could be just opposed for integrity in that sense. Okay, yeah. Yes, in that sense, using that particular context. So if he stays in his party and decides to work against his party, does that speak well of a man who has an integrity? Very quickly now, so let's move to the next topic. Integrity here, being proud would be, I say something, I don't go against my words. I've not moved to the APC. Yeah, but you're working against your party. I'm not working against you openly. You might infer that I'm working against you, but you have not seen anything that I'm doing that seems like it's anti-party. After all, you come down to the fact that I have just one vote, and I'm casting my vote for the PDP. So what are we saying? Can we now say that he has betrayed the party? Knowing that he's a man of influence, I'm just taking a leaf from your words. He might decide based on the analysis, influence and say, okay, everybody do what suits you. See, we're thinking a whole lot for this man, Wike. I believe he's a smart man. Yeah. And I believe that, like you said, I love that analogy. The phrase of his loud silence. Yeah. The silence is really loud. It is. And people are begging, Wike, please now say something. Let's know where you are headed. People are playing on that silence. At the end of the day, Wike will not have the guts to pot to the APC, except the APC openly denies him and openly makes him feel after doing all this, they do something worse than this. If he does, he will lose face in Rivers State, where he is the leader. It will be difficult for him to leave. But Wike can stay in the PDP and still work for other parties. But remember, at the end of the day, whether Wike decides to work for the PDP for any other party, at the center, even at the states, Wike has 1 vote. And it will be, this election we'll have in Nigeria will be the closest we've had ever. Will be the closest in terms of positions, all these core positions I think we're thinking it's a PDP state, it's an APC state, because now the electorate are beginning to think
differently.
We're beginning to think differently. It's high time we stopped following kingmakers, because they are making these kings for their own. You see the fact, okay, let me ask this simple question. Go Round has been allies with Wike, I think Lee Meba, them, the Tami Danagogo, the Boma Yaye, and the rest of them have all been allies with Wike and all that. There are some other names that eludes me now.
Yeah.
But these ones now, none of them were chosen as the governorship candidate of the PDP. The question is, why? The fact is this: you do not give political power to your political allies. You give political power to your political son or someone you're grooming, because you're going to be teaching him the ropes. He'll be coming to you when your ally knows what you know. You guys have run the government together.
Isn't an ally also referred to as a son?
No, ally is like, we're pals, we did this thing together, we rolled together. Son is like, you're watching from a distance and I'm asking you to do things for me. I'm pushing you to do things for me.
So in other words, it becomes a hereditary process again in the country. And these are some of the things that we've been saying. It shouldn't continue to happen.
In our dear country, Nigeria. When Tinubu makes people governors in his Lagos state and other adjoining states, does he make allies governors? He goes down, picks someone from that it seems like, oh, you're nobody, I've made you. Those ones are going to be loyal to him. That's what happens. So Wike must do his best to ensure that he wins River State for the PDP, so that his face in the PDP will still shine.
Using the son ally analogy right now, could we then say that Sim Fubara, who is currently the gubernatorial candidate for the PDP in River State, is now the son of Governor Wike?
It's obvious. Is he a politician? Or was he a politician before now? He was a civil servant. He was a civil servant. He was not a politician. You just dust him up and give him this position. Did people actually vote for Sim? People did vote for Sim. But why did they vote for Sim?
Well, people have their choice. It could be their preferred choice.
Not their preferred choice. We know this. Whether I was afraid to say it or were trying to paint it. Because Sim Fubara was the anointed one from the governor. It's open. It's not something that is hidden.
But we also had, okay, well, the president did come out to say he anointed... the
president did not anointed anyone openly. In the meeting, anointed Sim and made these other people to know that, you know, Richard now, we can assure no, let's take this other thing, so made other promises and all that.
So one man's word becomes law in that party as regards that particular analogy. Well, there's quite a lot to have on that conversation, but because of time, we're going to move on to the next headline this evening, where we have the Governor Matawali saying to Muslim faithfuls and all Nigerians to pray for them. All our efforts have failed. Now, Governor Bello Mohammed Matawali of Zamfara State has urged the residents of the state to use the Eid Kabir celebration to pray for the restoration of peace in the entire state. Matawali, who appealed to Muslim faithfuls to pray fervently for divine intervention, said every effort by his administration to end banditry had failed. He said that nobody can achieve anything meaningful if there is no peace. He added that peace and harmony are the bedrocks of any meaningful development, and we all must join forces to ensure that these criminal elements are pushed out of the whole system. According to him, it was glaring that his administration inherited the ugly development, appealing to the people to consider the security and socio-economic crisis that the banditry activities had brought and design strategies to end the dastardly act. Now, you recall, I think we had that conversation last week Sunday as well, where we had Governor Matawali urging and advising his people to, of course, get licensed arms to begin to defend themselves as individuals, noting that the insecurity has grown to a point where the government had failed in that particular light. And he said, everyone pick up an arm and begin to defend yourself. But again, he has come out to ask the Muslim faithfuls to cry for them, noting that all of the efforts that his administration has made towards fighting banditry has failed.
Shame on our government. Shame on us. Shame on everyone that is supposed to have done something right to defend the citizen and have refused to do it. Shame on them. Babagana Zulum cried at some point. Matawale asked for state security. He says, I cannot have an issue in my state, and if I could call out for help, I have to go through the center. We need state security. Matawale has called out, oh, give us arms, and they say, it's not your right to ask for this. Correct, though. Let citizens arm themselves. It's not your right to ask for that. It's not constitutionally right. That shouldn't come from you. You're only in the states. You can ask for your citizens to bear arms. So now, what is he left with? Pray for us. Pray for us. You know, when you say, you go better God day, that one a poor man prayer. Because at the point whereby you're giving up everything and you're praying, say you go better. Because you're looking at, there's nothing I can do. You're becoming helpless and totally motionless and defenseless against what is befalling you. You're like, oh, God do, you go better. That's how it looks like. So it seems we have been put in a position whereby we cannot help ourselves. Obviously, we cannot carry arms. It's not allowed.
No.
We can't have state policing because it's not approved at the center. The ones that have been approved to defend us are not defending us. That even in the seat of power in Abuja, things are happening and people are not being defended. Even the ones that should defend themselves are being attacked in the NDA. And they could not defend themselves. Even the ones that should defend us are being ambushed and killed like chickens. And they could do nothing about it. So what is left for us? Pray.
Well, just like Governor Matawala has said, we all need divine intervention. Quite unfortunately, there's, just like we love to say, all of the topics tonight we cannot, this afternoon rather, we can't exhaust all of them. But again, we are out of time, and this is basically where we're going to have to wrap it up on the conversation this evening. Once again, thank you so much. Okay, Onbugu. Did I just do that? Help me with that pronunciation again, please.
Sins are forgiven.
Oh, my sins are forgiven. Thank you so much for being on the show this evening. I appreciate you 100%. And of course, to all our beautiful viewers, thank you so much for staying on the ATN's recap this afternoon. And once again, to all our Muslim faithful ATN, Atlantic Television Network wishes you Eid Mubarak. And you can follow us on all our social media handles, Twitter at Atlantic Television Network, Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube is at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram is at Atlantic TV Network. Do remember that peace and unity